You know that feeling each day when you've just put the kids to bed and you sit down, maybe to a glass of wine, and simply exhale? It's like that small moment, maybe just even a second, where you don't have anyone to talk to and you don't have anywhere to go. Well, it's a slightly left field observation, but I reckon the cabin of the Volvo XC90 has that same calmness and tranquility about it. It's very zen-like.
Yes, there are the Hammer of Thor headlights, the clean design and the advanced safety equipment. But the R-Design package driven here sets itself apart with a gloss black grille, aluminium roof rails, dual tailpipes and 20-inch alloy wheels. Even with the additional bling, the XC90 still feels as relevant and cohesive as ever.
The T6 R-Design model driven here sits at the midpoint of the XC90 lineup. It'll cost you $104,900 plus on-road costs, and that's before you go adding umpteen features and a Polestar optimization pack fitted to this vehicle.
The XC90's interior proportions are generous. First and second rows are offered ample space, while the third row is actually capable of ferrying adults on shorter journeys, or kids on longer hikes. Officially, the boot measures a generous 1,019 litres with the rear seats stowed, and even when they are up, there's room for a couple of overnight bags. Meanwhile, towing capacity is rated at 2,400 kilograms. Naturally, safety is a strong suit for the XC90, with automated emergency braking, cyclist detection, adaptive cruise control and rear cross traffic alert among its safety repertoire.
The 9-inch portrait screen and digital instrument cluster might be the headline features, but for families, it's the wide door openings, these optional sunshades, and the cool pop-up booster seat in the middle that will really strike a chord. Further back, you've got plenty of space and face level air vents. However, if you want to use child seats, you're limited to the second row only. What I really like about the XC90 is that even with all this space, it's still a really enjoyable car to drive. Now at nearly 2 tonnes, you'd expect the XC90 would need a big lump of an engine up front. However, this car amazingly makes do with a 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol. Incredibly, in the T6 it works really well because you've got a supercharger to help with that low rev torque and then a turbocharger to really zing the car along at higher RPM. Throw in a smooth shifting 8-speed automatic and you've got a really proficient combination. In terms of dynamics, the XC90 isn't as overtly sporty as BMW's X5, and it won't go off-road like a Range Rover. Instead, you've got a really nice in-between. It tracks really faithfully through corners, and there's a good level of feedback through the controls, which in turn builds confidence. Noise suppression and bump absorption are middle of the road for this segment. This particular car riding on air suspension will occasionally thud over sharper imperfections, and it's probably not as quick to recover through bigger washouts as some rivaling cars. But with all that said, the XC90 is still a really enjoyable car to drive on long road trips, and at the same time, nice to be in urban environments. You could argue that Volvo owes a lot to the XC90 for its success in the past 3 or 4 years. And while this car doesn't really have the accolades that have graced the XC40 and the XC60, that's not really going to matter to modern families. For them, it's spacious, enjoyable, and nice to look at. A great distraction from the rigours of everyday life.